Welcome back to my channel, Aquarius. To both my new subscribers and my current subscribers, you're always appreciated. So much love and thank you out to all those that follow. This is a reading for May 2021, just general. And again, because they are general readings, please only take what resonates. If it's not a reading that doesn't speak to you, just check back in the next month. There might be something that is more pertinent to your situation in the coming month. But as well, also, please allow for some flexibility on the time frames because you're all at different stages, along that journey. So anyway, we'll start off with the sun, which is the energy of for you for Aquarius for this month. So it's all about happy connections and new beginnings, and definitely some new chapters that are opening up in your life this month. Real strong sense of camaraderie and support around you. There's some real closeness within your connections, and not only is it strong within your support system, but it's also strong connections to yourself. I feel that you have a better understanding of what's going on inside you this month as well. So really empowering month. Anything that you want to create or feel inspired to express, this is the month that it's going to happen. So you'll have that vision, to go ahead this month. Ideas are just going to, appear out of nowhere. You'll have this strong need to express yourself. You'll also have, as I said, that vision to do that, to bring everything to the forefront. But it's just a sense of, you really understanding where you're coming from. And again, in part, that's probably also related to your support system, but you're just more clearly able to express yourself this month. So, whether that manifests by way of writing or inventing a product of some sort, designing something, painting, whatever it is that's coming through for you, you're communicating it in your creations. And it's a real strong point for you. So you certainly need to spend your time and your focus more intently in this month of May on those projects, because this is where you need to really flesh out your ideas, because you're working with those enlightening moments. This is where the month where you'll be getting epiphanies and you're going to see the way clear. You're going to be able to string your connections between those ideas, that I feel a lot of you had really put on the back burner. So I don't feel that these are necessarily ideas that are just all of a sudden coming to the forefront. I think you had initial ideas of things that you've been working on, but you somehow buried them. And so this is really allowing you to shine this month. So it just really feels like you're getting a lot of attention this month from your social group, your friends, family, whoever you share your time and attention and communicate with this month. It just really seems to be a highlight of the month. So that's what we have for the Sun card. Following that is First Chakra, Archangel Michael. So this is the card where I feel, stability is being maintained. I don't feel like there's a lot of disruption in terms of your finances. I think you're just really maintaining your status quo this month. But with Archangel Michael, he's, you're protected. You're protected this month, your stability, your security. So there shouldn't really be any large hurdles or blocks or challenges this month for you, other than, kind of your own emotional um, scale of events, really is how I maybe put it. But I just feel it's more about building up your power and your capabilities this month. So skill building, competencies, all of that, bringing out those old projects that you've been working on to really fine tune and hone your skills. I do feel that you can really rely on your network around you this month. As I said, there's a lot of support coming through for you. Those with, similar like-minded ideals and intentions, that's who you're really aligning with this month, because there's a real strong sense of your purpose coming through. And I feel that you're actually excited about your own projects as well. So that's where the community card comes in as well, in that support system. But again, not just your immediate surrounding support system. This feels like you're able to really network and bring in someone specifically that you're relying on, or that's giving you some real strong insight, or, good business sense, that kind of thing. Someone is coming in this month to assist you on that level. So again, you can really rely on your network around you this month. And certainly, as long as you stay in line with your sense of purpose this month, I feel that, there's just a lot of creative activities that'll be hopping up around you. And you're just really enjoying this month overall, despite some of the limitations that are going on in the world at this time, I still feel that you're making, sweeping out there, making broad connections, whether it's on the internet or however, but it just feels like you're able to still tap into other resources this month. So, or at the very least, it's available to you. And for some of you, I feel it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to kind of get you out of your head, because as I say, for some of you, there's going to be a bit of a lag time. I still feel that you're going to be able to break a lot of those challenges emotionally that some of you are really dealing with, but that probably won't come until, toward the later part of the month. So again, for some of you, this may just represent a lot of creativities that are going on. You're really getting out there. You're still networking. You're really feeling more connected to people that share the same interests as you do, and they really are supportive of, where you're going with your ideas. But I also want to say that you're able to tap into, the business world for some of you, or the creative project. Internet world. Maybe you're tapping into Etsy or something along that line. Maybe there's something that you're doing on that level. But I just want to say that, it feels like your spark, you have a spark to create this month and bring value to what you do. So your personal value is coming through and being expressed in the things that you're creating. And this card of community also represents, again, that networking, and that you're just making it known that you're preparing for some great changes in the near future here. You're feeling out your resources, you're building up some data, or contracts as well this month for things that you're preparing to do. With the woman holding a heart, I mean, this is a card of a peacemaker, so this could represent you or someone around you, or someone that's coming in here this month, but it's a confidant or a teacher or a mentor, someone who's just instrumental in bringing in some kind of awareness that you need this month, something that helps you to resolve any issues that, are coming up for you. So it's, so that the transition continues to be smooth, stable, and secure, and just help you to maintain, building on your projects and your passions. So again, it feels like for a lot of you, there was some cards that really spoke to you feeling stuck this month in some area of your life. But rest assured, all of that will unlock and you will progress forward. It's just that you are being given this opportunity, to manifest and be heard and be clear and be specific when you're communicating your ideas. This just seems to be something of a strength for you this month. But again, it just feels like there's going to be more of a residual for some of you, that you're going to be battling yourself to open up, whereas others of you might be a little freer to release some of the energy. Maybe you've worked on it a little bit longer than other Aquarians, and so May is the start of a lot of this energy, but for some of you, you're just going to be moving through it a lot faster. So the card of the farther gate is taking that bold step forward. So again, for those of you that are feeling stuck, again, there's going to be a residual for even those that are able to progress forward and unlock a little faster, but there's still that residual here in the month of May, but you're getting past it. So again, you're being given the energy to manifest and communicate well. And this card indicates that, whatever ideas that you were sort of farming and working on and investing in, I feel that a lot of you have put a lot of time and energy into seeding those ideas, but now it's time for you to walk through into that sacred space. You need to use your gifts. You need to, use what you have already explored internally and start trying to bring that to the external, because it's when you're able to fully realize something that you're releasing, the energy, you're unlocking it so that you're able to bring it to, you're able to bring in, to attract more energy to you once you're able to manifest something as well. So you're bringing in more of what you want around you. So again, you've explored a lot of this, and for some of you, you might still be dealing with that exploration process a little longer into May, but toward the end of the month, most of you should be able to make that shift. So you're releasing what you've neglected to bring to the light. You're exposing yourself, to have your ideas challenged now. So again, there's going to be some obstacles eventually, but at this point, I just feel that your only real resistance is yourself. So just be prepared to have your ideas challenged. That's how you edit, how you, cut away the things that aren't necessary, and then you can redirect to the right opportunities. So it's what's beyond, that is where you're aiming for here. But again, you will start to see the way as you move through the month. So we've got the cosmic womb. This is where you are being divinely connected to open up, express, remove yourself from this dry period, this period of stagnancy, or, locked in boredom, whatever it is for you. But somehow feeling emotionally repressed is what I would say for a lot of you. But just, it's a time for you to really get in touch with the parts of yourself where you once, felt destabilized or uninspired. You're now going to begin to feel that surge to bring more of yourself to the surface this month. So don't judge what's coming up for you, emotionally, or restrict yourself by over criticizing or self doubt, that kind of thing, because it doesn't even matter how others judge it at this point. It's how you judge it. You need to release it so you can see how you can tweak it. And then as you journey down that rabbit hole, then you start to unlock the codes and the symbols. And, that's when you're able to find your answers or shape something and you are figuring out those symbols of what something meant, and now you've got a new direction for it. It does help you to feel more alive and connected to your path again. And that actually helps you to resolve the issues that you initially put the work on the back burner for, is because you didn't have solutions. You weren't able to unlock those codes and the symbols and the things that you needed an answer to. So again, you're getting more energy put into you this month, connecting to spirit so that you can get back on the path again. So in the hand is the next card, and it's a card of co-creating with the universe. So you're not in a period of acting out and dominating any territory here. You're not, I wouldn't say severely action oriented, other than it's more of a mental pursuit at this point. But I do feel that you are starting to build the way. You're strategizing here in the month of May. So whatever you were shelving in the recent past, you're now going back in to dig up and excavate, whatever you drew away from. So maybe because you weren't ready to deal with whatever that work is or that project or those emotions, maybe you didn't understand what you were looking at back then, or what to do with the idea, or how to bring it forward, or what the next step would look like. But this month, it's okay to dive back down into those caves, because you will figure out what to do with the idea, where to apply it best, how to bring it forward, what each half developed creation now means. The symbols will start to be explained, storylines will start to connect. It all becomes easier this month because you're surrendering to spirit to help you review what you were shelving without seeking a clearer understanding back then. I feel that you're more connected to the work now, and you're seeing your own value in it, and that's helping you to unlock and move forward. So you're now going to see the next step. You will be able to fill in the blanks or add something to the unfinished parts of your ideas. And in the process, you're going to be able to discover very deep truths about yourself, which will help you more clearly develop the ideas, the thoughts, or manifest more rapidly into reality. So the next card out is the Horseman, and this is heralding change. So I do feel that you're going to be feeling much more awakened in May, more alive, more optimistic, moving in the direction, of your goals, your dreams, your passions, and I also feel there's some good news that's coming in for you this month. I'm not sure what that relates to exactly, but I do feel that there's some kind of good news that's coming in for you this month. And for many of you, there may have been a period, again, where you were stuck in circular patterns or negative thoughts or energy that wasn't productive on a lot of levels. But this is dissipating and you're really starting to move into that more hopeful space. So you're feeling much more inspired, as though you have more of a roadmap with the lay of the land card. And that's what comes up here after the horseman. So this is where I feel, again, you've got more of a roadmap. There's more of an air of confidence about you this month. You're certainly becoming much more informed, more skilled in your expression or in your communications. And you're really starting to put in the time and the effort this month to learn what you need to learn to further develop what you had previously put on the back burner. So you're really putting in the effort to work on your projects here. You're really showing that sense of commitment. And whether that resonates in business or romance or partnerships, because it's definitely around passion projects, it's definitely around a lot of feeling and emotion this month, because there's cups that come through and very strong cups that come in toward the end. So a lot of you might be dealing with some water signs as well. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that kind of thing. But definitely, however that resonates for you, again, it can also be with the commitment card, deepening partnerships, business partnerships, romantic partnerships, whatever is a strong commitment to you, moving it to the next level. But again, it also represents contracts. So again, in terms of, maybe there's a contractual work arrangement that you have for a period of time here that is opening up to you. But definitely in terms of a legal presence, there would be a more favorable direction for you. So again, whether it relates around or orients around that legal matter, could be even a sale of a house, but I didn't see a lot of energy about movement in that way. But I mean, again, anything contractual. So it's about you being present and in your personal power this month. So you're really stepping up to, do the work, invest in yourself, inform yourself, equip yourself, connect yourself to whatever it is you need, resources, and so on. And you're also allowing insight to build yourself to this better position this month. So the structure is there, the foundation. It's just a matter now of where you're going to build one bridge and connect it to another bridge and take one road to connect with the next road, whatever it is that brings about the most connection to yourself. So for some of you, that journey might be a shorter road. And for others of you, it might be a longer road, because I feel that the awareness comes from projects that connect more to yourself. And so, as I say, it's going to depend on each one of you is going to be a little different in what needs to come out and how far or how deep you're going back. So it's going to really depend greatly on your level of connection to yourself. But either way, you're moving things forward. But I do feel that, and again, there's that stuck energy. You're going through a total change of how you deal with your life this month, where some of you may have been feeling overwhelmed, stuck. And as I mentioned, you didn't know where to change things. But again, that changes this month. So what was hidden or seemed inaccessible or misunderstood or disconnected, you from your journey or your path, now is allowing you to edit and switch directions, pivot where you need to pivot. I mean, you always had that power to resolve things, but when we silence spirit or our connection to our higher self in favor of our own egoic voice, that negative, self-absorbed, sort of self-oriented place, it becomes like a computer key where you're leaning too long on one key. So the message becomes confusing and distracting. Despite the other text around the rest of the page, you can't help but focus on the mistake. So the one key seems to drown out the rest of the writing. And by the time you deal with the one key, going back, erasing, clicking back and all those steps back, and moving your cursor around, you find yourself rereading what you just wrote to try to see what came next. Where was I going with this? And that's why it's important to not linger too far on the one key or the mistake or as they say, make mistakes fast. That's how you learn best. It's okay to make the mistakes because you are in a process of expanding. So our emotional states can sometimes run like this, where we allow one emotion to run the rest of the track. And that's how we get stuck in how long we've leaned on that one key instead of what the message was of the whole text, and what we were really intending to say. We forget our voice, we forget our own voice. Um, and I think that's the point of life, is to find your voice. So we're all given these gifts, and I feel that we're obligated to honor those gifts, and we are influenced by so many other energies in and around us. From friends and family and just people that you meet on the street, and all the things that, you know, in one sense can serve to distract you, but we can also absorb those energies. And it's really difficult to complete the mission or the task, and our own voice gets lost, so to speak. So, when you belong to a community of energy, spiritual energy, physical energy, and if you disconnect from either source, whether it's community on the physical frame of things, or your spiritual community, or your higher self energy, it really does throw off your purpose every time you're hit with a boulder of energy in space, so to speak. You might want to think of it that way. When you're constantly coming in to absorb other people's energies, sometimes it's difficult to differentiate between your own energy and their energy, and you pick up their bad mood or their heaviness, and then you take it on as your own, and then you have to work through that energy. So that is, I think, the challenge really in life, is to always remember who you are, stay on purpose. Don't get thrown off by all the other energies that are coming in to mesh with your own. You don't need to be accountable for the things that you encounter and that influence you. You just need to be accountable for what you do each day, and to hold on to your personal truth, which will lead you to your purpose. So again, that stuck energy is the reverse of the sun. So since you entered this month with the sun, I feel that you're really working on and turning this energy around, and that's going to be very liberating, and it'll speed up, how quickly you go through lessons and how quickly you free yourself, to get back on purpose. So again, you're getting back on your path this month. You're aligning with your core self. You're getting a better sense of your own inner wealth of secrets, which is really empowering. And that follows through with the teacher. As I mentioned, I do feel that somebody is going to be coming through for you this month. It can represent some of you going back to school or learning something new as well, or taking an online course, getting assistance from a mentor or a colleague, however that connects to your situation. But either way, there is input coming in from another party. So that I do feel is very useful for you to move things ahead a little faster. So again, it could be just a confidant, somebody who's just there to, aid you along the way. But either way, it does lead you to, the new beginnings. So you are having some kind of fresh start here, or where you feel like you're just wakening from, this dark, heavy period. But something amazing is, it's a happy new beginning. It's a new start here for you this month, a new idea, a brighter picture overall. It's a greater connection to yourself. It's a more expansive period of creativity and enlightenment. Your overall level of connection to source, to community, to yourself is just so powerful this month. And it's just really time to delve into, all those half-started projects or underdeveloped areas of potential. And it's time to evaluate what you need to bring up into the light and explore, because it's becoming a new project or idea of sorts, or story idea, or invention, painting, renovation, whatever it is, the undertaking that you shelved and didn't flesh out, that needs to be addressed this month. But you need to really choreograph it to finish, and this is where you're starting to do that in the month of May. So again, start looking at all the things that were half done that you feel really connected to, or you're starting to find some sense of value of yourself, that needs to be expressed in. So last cards of the deck. This is actually It's the Rider-Waite deck, but I'm not sure. I've forgotten exactly what deck this was specifically that I used. It was so long ago, so I'm sorry, can't give you any more details on that. But either way, just to reiterate, a lot of these cards sort of play out with the same message. You're starting out with the Magician, so pretty straightforward. You're in a time of manifesting. You've got all the tools that you need to move ahead in terms of your skills, your knowledge. You're doing the research. You have interest in the projects that you're bringing out this month. You're understanding now that there is real potential in those things that you put off to the side. So again, this card is a call to action. You're using your intuition, your abilities, your skills. You're bringing about something in line with what you feel is important to express, and bring to the forefront. So again, I feel that your relationship to whatever the project is something that you find of great value, that needs to be brought out of you specifically. So this again for others can be representing a relationship here where you're just more willing to invest in the relationship that maybe you were uncertain about, or you felt a certain sense of reserve around. But there's a lot of emotional energy in this month for May. A lot of happiness coming through though as well, because there are so many cups that follow toward the end here. We also have the Three of Wands. So, I mean, it is something that is expanding. But again, with the Magician card, this is again where it's a really excellent month for developing business ideas, deepening your connection to yourself, to others. This is where thoughts become things. Highly creative card, but also one that brings in the answers to resolve the issues, for those half-done projects or emotionally, um, you know, uh, unexplored areas of your shadow self or uncertain direction, whatever it is for you, it's now being revealed. It's being brought to the forefront because there is the moon card that shows up here as well. But there is a strong connection, again, between the spirit world and the physical realm this month. So these are energy portals that are allowing you to achieve and grow something with that surge of clarity, confidence, inspired action, stronger influence over your environment, in fact, is how I would put it. But the Three of Wands is you still, you're setting the goal and you're moving it to the next level of achievement here because you're building on something that's already got an existing framework. But you can trust those around you at this time. It does call for patience, though, because this looks to be more of a long-term project. It's not something that's finishing up in the month of May. So I'm sure in the coming months, we'll see more energy around that as well. The High Priestess is a very emotionally driven card. But I feel if in this reading, I feel though, of course she's more of a silent presence, but and does speak to, those hidden mysteries and all of that and hidden knowledge. But I feel in reference to you, it represents you delving into your own mysteries this month and really discovering your true self and how you're going to connect that to the projects that you do and express it in a way that has meaning for you. So you're getting in touch again with spirit. You're seeking higher levels for deeper insight. You're developing your expertise and you're nurturing your abilities and you're trusting in your senses. So this is where you're figuring out your motivations to pursue or get in touch with, deeper feelings that might have limited you, in fact, in some way. But at the same token, on the other side of that spectrum, those deep feelings can also, once they're released or that energy is put towards something, they expand you, they grow you, you feel limitless, you feel light. So I feel that a lot of you are remembering things of greater significance this month. Again, dealing with unfinished projects. And it is a month where, you're able to, develop your talents, do the research, deepen your insights, create that enduring wisdom, that you're going to be able to use for the long haul, and you're building on that. You're bringing more power into yourself, to influence your situation this month. And it is influencing your surroundings as well. So again, where I feel you were once feeling oppressed and repressed feelings, specifically for some of you with that Ten of Wands, but of course it's a card of burden and overwhelm, but it's really you dealing with things that you just felt were beyond your control, and especially sorry, when it's followed up with the moon card, I just feel that you weren't really sure how to deal with a lot of those dark periods, whether that was anxiety for you, separation or lack, or separation from yourself, could be others as well, but whatever it was dominating your thoughts, and it just held you in a period of, stalemate, boredom, monotony, locked in, confusion. This is a card of illusions and insecurities as well. So, you know, again, it's that pushing the wrong key on the keyboard for too long. Just staying in the same place for too long builds on the same place for too long. So this is where you're now starting to unlock, especially when it's followed by the Four of Pentacles. It does, to me, it feels like, it resulted in unexpressed thoughts or ideas or repressed words or actions here. Just really hanging on for control. Again, with that Ten of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and of course, there's also energy of following up here with further down with the Four of Swords. But either way, I just feel like there was a need for you to pull back as well, because we've got the Hermit card and all of that will come through here too. But again, just a lot of issues around hanging on to things. And again, maybe some of you needed to pull some things out of the basement, cabinet, wherever, metaphorically or otherwise literal. But wherever you tend to store things so that you can disconnect from them. But be aware of these patterns so that you don't repeat them too often, because life is short, and when we store too much for too long, we also learn to disconnect from that. And the way back can shorten the time ahead, because it may end up being too long of a step backwards. So overall, it feels pretty positive, though, with the Ace of Wands here. This is definitely a new beginning here, a new inspired beginning. I feel that there's, you're ready to take action, but you're not, I don't feel that a lot of you are taking action in the month of May. Still feels more cerebral on that level, but it is a fiery beginning, something that inspires you to express yourself. And again, whether that's artistically, or speaking up in a way that you're defining your own truth, a passionate love connection, going deeper, levels of commitment there. I feel as well with the High Priestess card that there's kind of that dream-like muse where you're allowing your subconscious to become conscious. You're really strengthening your commitment to growing, whatever you're focusing on this month. So again, with the Hermit energy, it does make sense that the Hermit shows up, because this is where you're dealing with the inner shadow work, the shadow self, the past reflections here. You're looking at the energy of the moon. So this is where you're exploring, areas that kind of receded into the background, so that you now have to address them by reflecting and seeking answers, unblocking the energy, kind of getting out of that dark pool and using the light to guide you in a direction where you're able to express. But it's also personal development here as well, I would say, where you're dealing with your emotions that you were once challenged by. And again, for others, it's unfinished business in other areas of their life. Doesn't have to be necessarily emotional. Again, can be putting off projects that you just couldn't find solutions to. But overall, it deals with an area of your life where you're just suppressing yourself emotionally, or cutting off expressing your truth in some way. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles does bring an energy of kind of juggling some things here. So, I mean, that could look like an energy of finding a way to balance, the new input versus the old stagnant energy, because you're moving into this new space, and so you're trying to figure out ways to kind of deal with the old baggage. In terms of money, it does seem like things, again, were pretty balanced overall. There might be some kind of a little bit of a juggling act with some of the bills, but for the most part, I feel like you're stable and in control of things here, but it's maintaining the status quo. But there's some kind of surprising news I do feel that's still coming in this month. But overall, as far as the rest of the money, finance aspect, I don't feel there's any dramatic changes there in terms of the actual money, although there might be some opportunities, as I say, a couple of opportunities that might be presenting here with that energy of the Page of Cups coming, or the Ace of Cups that comes through later, and the Page of Wands. So some of you also might be, with the Four of Swords here, I mean, the twos definitely, and the fours for sure. You're trying to seek some balance. So again, I feel that's where a lot of that two of Pentacles energy was coming out. And also there's the Two of Wands further out, and then we've got the four. So I feel that you're stepping back to really evaluate how you're going to strategize and implement your plans this month again. So Page of Wands, and with the Sun card earlier in the read, some of you may very well be dealing with a younger person as well, who somehow comes into play here. Could be somebody possibly that you're working alongside, or that this is a childhood dream, but it's also a card of getting ready to launch something and diving into this new direction here. Not the Four of Swords, but with the Page of Wands, kind of that inspired action to get ready for a new start. But there is, again, further down, you'll see the Two of Wands. So the Four and the Eight of Cups is where we're at right now. And this is where you're finding that renewed sense of balance, because there's so many cards of you struggling for balance here. So again, a lot of you might be going through, some of that, carrying that residual of hurt or self-doubt, that period here where you're refusing help, or when you really should reconsider. Others may be feeling like they missed that opportunity, that door of opportunity, or for others, you might still be in deep consideration about how to release those heavy emotions of regret, boredom, dissatisfaction, stagnancy. But either way, it's discontent that you're leaving behind this month in favor of accepting that which stalled you is not really hopeless. It's actually allowing you to let go and release. And even though there might be a bit of a period of waiting here, but it is allowing you that period of stepping back allowed you to really see what needed to be addressed. So final cards out here is the Ace and the Ten of Cups. And I don't think you could get any better than this here. The Ace and the Ten of Cups, for sure. Excellent cards of your goals starting to line up this month. You're starting to see the way through. You have plenty of support. Relationships, business prospects are starting to open up to you this month. Or at the very least, you're networking and starting to make some resourceful, connections, some good connections, resources. So these are solid connections. So whoever you're meeting this month, is somebody I feel that will be there for the long term. Again, that could be on a relationship front, doesn't have to be on a business front, but or a work front. You could be, an alliance in a workspace as well. But either way, strong energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces that are coming in, and especially too if you are, in creative activities, or like writing, singing, poetry, romantic, any of that. It really encompasses a lot of the emotions that are coming through this month. So I really feel that it holds a lot of inspiration for, anybody who sort of falls within that gamut, artistic gamut, specifically. So these are areas for you that will be really heightened. If you're looking for new love or deepening, again, connections. Just a great month overall. And of course, it is ending on a lot of enlightenment and joy and fulfillment here with the Ace of Cups, new start, a new emotional beginning, and the Ten of Cups. So again, lots of stability here on the home front by month's end. And I just feel that you feel whole this month. So just a few cards here that follow just to round things up, and that's otherwise what I have for you, Aquarius. And the last couple of cards here are bonus cards. So these are new decks that I'm not overly familiar with, so I'll just take some information from the books. And I did get they're just quick ones really, but this is the deck of Sacred Creators Oracle, and this is by Chris Ann. I think I've only used it once before, but this is Soul on Fire. So the Soul on Fire card is just about that. It's about being passionate, focusing on your goal, infectious enthusiasm, success is on the way, and you're finding what lights you up this month. So this is definitely where you're at, and really kind of reiterates or, encapsulates everything that was just spoken of earlier here. But we also have the card of bliss is worth creating from. This card, this card is just going through it here. This one is really about you flowing with the universe and passionately creating, living your life on purpose. You're creating from the heart. You're really connected to the projects that you're doing that are from that heart space. And that is exactly what the other cards had mentioned as well. So we also have your soul shines. This is, again, it's really speaking to a lot of energy around you connecting with source and your path. So again, this card is about, consistently doing something, so that you are in a positive headspace. So you want to allow yourself to be happy, so that you've got a brighter outcome. And through, consistently doing an activity, this is how you're going to get there. And we have for the final deck, this one is actually the Divine Energy Oracle, and this is Love Yourself. So I won't read through that part of it. I think these are pretty straightforward, but there's just 3 cards here. So that's Love Yourself, Retreat, which is what you're doing. You're still in that space where you're trying to kind of build up your energy, build up, your next move, strategizing, and embrace your power. So definitely everything falls in line with the other. And then we also have the Knight of Gabriel. So again, this is a message. This is actually the advice cards here. So it's time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing what to do. So you want to feel confident and enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. You want to go forward. You want to take some action, but you're still in the place of building. It's not a matter of farming out the idea, as I mentioned before. This is really about the place where you're about to take action. So, so the strategy is coming through for the month of May. And this is where you're thinking things through, and then you make certain actions in, as I say, probably for the coming months here, confidently taking the strides to move ahead, and be courageous and make bold moves. We also have the Lover's card. So for some of you, this might actually revolve around an emotional connection. Or again, it could be a passion project as well. But for a lot of you, this is just encouraging you to follow your heart. So wherever that leads you, whether again, it's in business, for projects or something that you feel very much connected to, or to deepen a relationship, as in a romantic partnership. So again, this is a time where you are embracing your heart space, you're moving ahead in a positive way, and definitely this is a place where you might be making an important choice or a decision here, because there was a couple of cards here that sort of spoke to that as well. There is some happy news that's coming through, but it's definitely a decision of some sort that also kind of goes with a few of these cards here in this month. We also have the Three of Ariel. So this one is, again, threes are all about that creative space and expanding. So I do feel that a lot of you are doing what you love here. This is about, again, following your passions. This is where you develop talents. This is where you present yourself in the best light that you can. This is where you're doing personal growth. This is all about working with others. It's also that community card, so this is where you really want to be. It's a labor of love. This is really where you want to be getting resources and people around you to help move your projects ahead. So the last 2 cards were actually cards that I pulled as a question of an obstacle. What is an obstacle for you that you have to overcome? So we've got the Empress, and we also have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles to me is, some of you might be staying too long in that stuck energy, and it's a card of saying, just get out there and do it. This is the Edgar Allan Poe companion book, Rose Wright, and it's illustrated by Eugene Smith. But this deck is as I say, I mean, the cards variations are a little bit different, but for the most part, this one's fairly standard. With the Queen of Pentacles, I just feel in this case, it's more about you getting out there and making it happen. I feel that some of you are just going to struggle a little bit longer in that stuck energy. But definitely it is about getting out there and investing in things long term. So it is a stable energy with the Queen of Pentacles. And the other obstacle, as I said, with the Empress, again, I just feel that that could be where you're creatively blocking yourself, procrastinating, or that you're just staying in that place where you feel like there's a sense of lack or depression or boredom, stagnancy. You're just not motivated in some way. So don't let that hold you back. As I said, it's like standing on that key on your keyboard for too long and then trying to go back, to figure out where to start again and what you were actually trying to say initially. Sometimes it helps to just write it down and keep the track of where you were going with an initial project. And even if you do set it aside until you find some resolution for the idea, at least you had written down your initial intention, and it helps to keep it clear as to what it is that you wanted to express in the first place. So again, those are just a couple of bonus cards here for my new decks, and I just want to let you know, thank you very much for staying to the end here, Aquarius. Stay safe, keep moving forward. We will see you in June.